Imagine the global economy as a high-stakes playground. When the US throws tariffs at India, who steps up to back India up? Today, we're counting down the top 10 countries supporting India against US tariffs in 2025. This isn't just about trade numbers, it's about shifting alliances and global strategy. We'll break down who's with India, and why. Get ready for a whirlwind tour of strange bedfellows, old friends, and new partners reshaping the world order. If you want the inside scoop on global politics, hit like and subscribe. Let's dive in. Number 10 is China, a surprising but strategic supporter. Despite their rivalry and tense border, China and India find common ground when facing US tariffs. China's been in America's tariff crosshairs for years, so they know the playbook. Their support for India isn't about friendship, it's about shared interests. Both see US protectionism as a threat to the global trading system that's fueled their growth. By backing India, China pushes back against US economic pressure and signals unity to the world. This support is mostly diplomatic. Joint statements at the WTO, calls for multilateralism, and subtle coordination. China's message, "Your fight is our fight for now." It's a temporary alliance of convenience, not a deep partnership. Don't expect Modi and Xi to be best friends, but in this chess game, they're on the same side, at least for now. China's calculated support makes them a crucial, if complicated, ally for India. In geopolitics, even rivals can become partners when the stakes are high. That's why China lands at number 10. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your best bet. On to the next ally. Number 9 is Russia, India's longtime strategic partner. Their alliance has survived the Cold War, the Soviet collapse, and shifting world orders. Russia knows all about US sanctions and economic pressure. When Washington targets India, Moscow stands up, loudly. Russia's support is about defending multipolarity and pushing back against US dominance. It's not just talk. Russia supplies India with defense tech, energy, and more. A strong India balances Asia and supports Russia's pivot east. This is a friendship built on shared interests and mutual skepticism of US policy. Russia's backing is reliable, deep, and strategic. In a world of shifting alliances, Moscow and New Delhi remain steady partners. That's why Russia's number 9. Let's see who's next. Number 8 is Brazil, India's BRICS brother. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, is a coalition of emerging economies challenging Western dominance. When India faces US tariffs, Brazil sees it as a test of group solidarity. Both nations push for a fairer global economic system and resist rules written by the West. Brazil's support comes through joint BRICS statements and coordinated positions at the WTO. It's about defending negotiation over coercion and standing up for the global South. Brazil and India are expanding trade and investment, seeing each other as key partners in a multipolar future. By backing India, Brazil invests in a world where developing nations have a bigger say. This alliance is about principle and shared ambition. That's why Brazil is a crucial ally at number 8. Next up, Africa's voice. Number 7 is South Africa, a partner with deep historical ties to India. Their bond began in the fight against colonialism and apartheid, and it's only grown stronger. As a BRICS member, South Africa amplifies India's voice on the global stage. When India faces economic pressure, South Africa stands up for fairness and a rules-based order. They know that if big economies can be targeted, smaller ones are even more vulnerable. South Africa's support is about protecting the interests of developing nations and upholding international law. Their advocacy is both moral and strategic, calling for dialogue, not confrontation. This solidarity is rooted in shared history and values. That's why South Africa is a key ally at number 7. Now let's head to Europe. Number 6 is Germany, the economic engine of Europe. Germany's prosperity depends on open markets and stable trade rules. US tariffs threaten the system that made Germany successful. Their support for India isn't about picking sides, it's about defending free and fair trade. Germany uses its EU influence to push for de-escalation and negotiation. They want to keep selling to a thriving Indian market, not one hurt by a trade war. For Germany, this is about principle and protecting their own economic interests. They're the voice of moderation, urging calm and dialogue. Germany's pragmatic support makes them a formidable ally for India. That's why they're number 6. Next, France's unique approach. Number 5 is France, Europe's champion of strategic autonomy. France wants Europe to act independently, not just follow the US tariffs reinforce France's push for a multipolar world, and India is a key partner in that vision. The France-India relationship goes beyond trade. It's about defense, climate, and global security. France backs India in the UN, G7, and G20, arguing that trade disputes threaten global stability. Supporting India is about building a balanced world, not just choosing between the US and China. France and India are forging a third way based on shared values and international law. This deep strategic partnership makes France an indispensable ally. That's why France is number 5. Now to East Asia. Number 4 is Japan, India's key partner in the Indo-Pacific. Once distant, their relationship is now a cornerstone of regional stability. Both are democracies concerned about China's rise, and both are members of the Quad. Japan balances its US alliance with its economic and strategic interests in India. US tariffs on India disrupt regional integration and threaten Japanese investments. Japan's support is subtle: quiet diplomacy, mediation, and behind-the-scenes advocacy. They push for compromise, stressing Quad unity and a rules-based order. Japan's investments in India, from infrastructure to technology, are massive. A strong India is good for Japan's economy and regional vision. Japan's stabilizing role makes it a powerful ally. That's why Japan is number 4. Let's see who's next. On to the UK. Number 3 is the United Kingdom, redefining its global role post-Brexit. The UK is eager for a free trade deal with India, seeing huge opportunities for British business. A US-India trade war threatens these ambitions and complicates negotiations. The UK balances its US ties with its new partnership with India, advocating for a rules-based system. British diplomats push for calm and dialogue in forums like the G7 and Commonwealth. Behind the scenes, London urges Washington and New Delhi to find pragmatic solutions. The UK's support is driven by its own interests in a strong, prosperous India. By backing India, the UK strengthens its global strategy and free trade credentials. That's why the UK is a vital ally at number 3. Next, Australia's role. Down under we go. Number 2 is Australia, a Quad partner whose ties with India have never been stronger. Australia and India share Indo-Pacific geography and strategic concerns. A US-India dispute threatens the coalition Australia is helping build. As a trading nation, Australia fears trade wars and economic coercion. Publicly, Australia champions the multilateral system and calls for de-escalation. Privately, they urge the US to reconsider tariffs that hurt shared goals. Australia and India's economic, cultural, and educational ties are booming. A strong India benefits Australian exporters and universities. Australia's support is a perfect alignment of strategic and economic interests. That's why they're number 2. Now the top spot, who leads the pack? Number 1 is Indonesia, the voice of Southeast Asia and a rising global power. As ASEAN's de facto leader, Indonesia's support represents the collective strength of the region. Indonesia values independence and strategic autonomy, just like India. US tariffs on India threaten regional stability and interconnected economies. Indonesia's support comes through ASEAN, advocating for rules-based trade and peaceful resolution. A slowdown in India affects all of Southeast Asia, so Indonesia leads the call for unity. This isn't just one country's voice, it's 10 nations, over 600 million people. Indonesia's backing signals the rise of middle powers, shaping the global agenda. By standing with India, Indonesia declares that the future won't be decided by Washington or Beijing alone. It's about new alliances and shared interests. That's why Indonesia is number 1. The world is changing, and these alliances prove it. Let's wrap up. There you have it, 10 countries, 10 reasons, 1 message. The world is more complex than ever. The era of a single superpower is fading. Multipolarity is here. This US-India trade dispute shows how alliances are built on shared interests, not just old loyalties. These partnerships buffer against unilateral actions and push for a stable, rules-based system. Which country's support surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe for more global insights. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious.